Hi guys, Jared here at Day Traders FX. Hopefully you guys are all having a good, wonderful day and a good start to the week. And definitely our best wishes go out to all those on the East Coast that are, as we can see here, getting hit by some pretty bad weather. So best of luck to all of you out in that neck of the woods. Um, Quick little look today. We've seen that the U.S. markets remain closed today. Oil has dipped due to this bad weather, which typically it goes the opposite. It would normally spike a little bit, but we see that the oil's down just a little bit here. Um, and Again, Dow and S&P kind of didn't do much. They were closed today due to the looming disaster on the East Coast. As far as news goes today, we have some Japanese stuff coming out tonight. The Bank of Japan's interest rate announcement, all of that will be out um, this evening sometime. We don't know exactly when, but there should be some movement with that. So just kind of keep your eyes and ears open there. But coming into tomorrow, Tuesday, we've got quite a few things. We've got Draghi speaking. That's always a decent event. We have some Italian bonds. We have some consumer confidence, which is a decent one. Looks like that has been postponed. I'm just noticing that right now. And then we have some Australian numbers coming out as well. So we'll kind of see how these markets, things might be a little tiny bit different the first day or two of this week due to all of the U.S. markets are really based in the East Coast, and if we end up with some pretty bad weather situations, then that could kind of change things. So we'll just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so quick little look at this euro dollar. It's been pretty choppy, but you can see that for the most part we keep testing. It looks like the euro dollar is putting in a short-term bottom here around 128.85. I'm really keeping my eye on 12900. Above 12900, I think the euro dollar still has a chance to rally, but we'll kind of wait and see. Remember, our 200-day moving average is right. It keeps kind of testing that area, and that's about 128.75 right now. So if we don't break below that 200-day moving average, which we really might do. Getting out of this channel could push it through that. Then we could see some bigger runs down. But it's really going to be all about that 200-day moving average. You can see that we keep testing that, and that's going to be the one to look for and keep an eye on. Coming into this 4-hour chart, you can see we're right on the 200-day moving average as well. So 12900 is going to kind of be the make it or break it level. Above, we're good. Below, we should see some bigger sell-offs. So just kind of keep an eye on that. So we don't have any really specific entries right this moment, except for just kind of keeping an eye on 12800, or excuse me, 12900. Pound dollar got a little bit choppy. We talked a bit about this, the 160.50, 160 area. We broke through the moving average. We broke through 160.50, and now we're kind of running down. I don't have any specific entries in mind just yet on the pound dollar, but it's continuing, as you can see on the daily chart, to make lower highs. And these are all almost reversal candles here. And it's just, kind of coming down. So I'm going to keep my eyes on the pound dollar, but not really doing too much with it just yet. Here's one that's interesting though, the euro yen. Remember, we've talked about this channel right here. It's been in this channel for a couple of weeks, and it's about a 130-40 pip channel, not a really big one. With this low here being about 10300, and you can see we're sitting about 10290s. And this 102.90s area puts it very nicely into kind of testing the bottom of this channel. Good place to bounce, very good place to bounce, but also, potential place for a break lower and some of that to happen. So what I'm looking for is back up above about 103.05, right around there, 103.05, maybe even 103.10. We want to see some buying opportunities happening on the euro yen. Otherwise, we're going to keep an eye on some possible further downside, and that's where we can, look at some of these smaller time frames and get entries on some of these smaller breakouts. You can see that we've definitely got some trend lines to be working with and so on, and it's kind of double topping a little bit against that 10300 area. So below this, break of the trend line, look for some 5 and 15 minute setups, and I think we might get something there. But as we start to get above that 10300 area, and even as high as 10310, we should be looking to buy into the pair. But remember, we have Japanese news out this afternoon, so that can always change things pretty drastically. Here was an entry we had that we got into right before the market closed, and that was this right here. We sold the Aussie dollar at 103.70, and it put us in on one of these two. I guess it would have been this last candle, 1 hour before the market closed. things opened up nicely down. We were up in some profit, and it hopped around and was everywhere, all over the place. And then I ultimately just closed the trade out at about 37 pips profit. It hasn't reached our original profit target was 103.25. I just opted to get out of that early as we're kind of getting into a slow part of the day and just kind of jump out of that. But we took 37 pips on that one. Nice little run there, very good little trade. Now, as far as the Aussie dollar goes, you can see that we're wedging in here very, very nicely. And in my opinion, this thing is really set up to go either way. We have a nice reversal candle right here, and I'm definitely leaning a bit to the downside. But we'll see where things go and how they go. And if we do break above this trend line, let's just keep an eye on that. But again, back below about 10300, I'm starting to get pretty interested in selling this thing down into the 10200. So a break of about 10300, which is about this level right here, gets me very bearish into the 10200 area. Quick little look at gold. Big trend line on gold right here over the last couple of weeks. It's been trending down very nicely. And now we'll see kind of where it goes. It's having a heck of a time with 1700. This is big support for gold. If we get below 1700, I'm looking for a much bigger run down. However, it seems to be bottoming out pretty well on 1700. And if we break this trend line and get some crossovers here on this 4-hour chart, we could see some big pullback and a big run back up into the upside. So keep an eye on that with gold. And some of these other pairs, we had a trade set on the Aussie yen. If we got an open above this daily pivot, we were looking to get long on it, and we just kind of never got there. I'm still looking at that, about 82.70. We get above that, I think it's interesting for a run into about 8300, 83.10, right around there. And likewise, you can see this perfect little bottoming out right here at about 82.25. So we break this level, and I'm getting interested in this as well. We're getting pretty close to that 200-day moving average, so we have to keep an eye on that. But below this, I think we've got a nice little run on this Aussie yen. So let's just keep an eye on that, remembering that we've got interest rate announcements for Japan later on today, and that will definitely cause some movement in these markets. So keep an eye on that. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'll have more details coming out on Twitter. Remember, you can follow me at twitter.com/daytradersfx. Thanks a bunch, everyone, and we'll see you in the chat.